collector's edition I see sitting here next to me.
Well, there's something important about the collector's edition, though, which is the sideshow figure that was inside.
Is that open? No.
Yeah. So I'm sure everyone's seen it out there, but
right there.
that was our first foray into working with sideshow. And while it's still in the works, we do have a premium format figure that's coming out with them.
Like this big?
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be, I don't know, we haven't even seen it yet, but
they're still working on sculpting it, but...
Those guys have so much of my money. They're going to do a great job. Yeah. And I'm actually heading to San Jose this weekend to a comic book show in search of a couple of sideshow sculpts that are about 4 years old. So, yeah, they've got me. I can just hand my wallet over right away. Like, they already know it. They see me coming. It's bad news.
Yeah.
But that Drake figure is going to be hot. Yeah. They did God of War recently. It was really, really successful. That figure turned out really well. Yep. I love, all their Star Wars stuff. They just did the Emperor and the Throne, which is amazing.
Marvel stuff.
They do such great.
The Marvel stuff.
All the Iron Man. Like, why did it's like my favorite? I can't even believe I left it out. Like, that Hulkbuster that I have is just all the Iron Man stuff in general. Like, I just Iron Man's madness. So, but I love all the poses. It's really cool. When we were in New York for the licensing show we did a while back, we went to a couple of high-profile comic book shops there, and just to check out what was on the street. And once again, I totally forget the name of the place, but
Midtown.
It was Midtown. It's got the upstairs area.
Midtown Comics, yeah.
So Midtown, and they have all of those statues up there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a ton.
Yeah.
More than I've ever seen available anywhere else.
That's like a haven. That place is amazing.
It's awesome. And I would have jumped on some of that stuff, but I couldn't figure out how to get it home on the plane.
Another suitcase.
Yeah. What's the other comic book store?
Forbidden Planet.
Forbidden Planet. That's the one that's like, that place, you couldn't move in that. Yeah. Like, we were in there for days.
They need a new space because there's like so much stuff in there.
It's crippled in there and you're suffocating. It's a great way to promote the culture, and I spend more time reading comics than I'd like to admit, but it's and speaking of which, we have some comics.
We have the DC Comics with the old logo and the new logo.
Look at that. We're not trying to start the debate on whether we like the new logo.
Yeah, we're not gonna go with that.
We're staying away from that.
We're staying clear of that.
But we just completed the 6-issue series. Yeah. And then word on the street is, at least if I look at pre-orders online, it looks like the trade is coming in July.
It is coming in July, from what I understand as well, and we are still kind of fine-tuning what additional art's going to be included, all the other content, but it's close. Josh has just finished up, I think, approvals on that stuff.
Yeah. Josh
Scherer, and for the record, he was instrumental in this book happening, and he worked with the DC guys tirelessly. And did just a marvelous job. And
he did cinematics on the side.
Free time. Little things, right? He's like the guru of all that stuff as well. Just
That's the thing about the way we work here, right? Is like we don't have like one person or a group of people that like really pay attention to all of this stuff. Not only make sure that like it's all gone through approvals, but like make sure that like it fits in the universe or anything. Like everyone sort of takes it on based on their interests or that sort of thing. So Josh took it on. So this was just him volunteering basically to help shepherd this through and work with DC and work with the art, work with the artist, work with the writer, and like make sure everything sort of fit together. And that's it's really amazing.
It was a pleasure working with all those folks at DC. Those guys are great. We
and they hooked us up with Adam.
Yeah.
For the first issue cover, doing the signing at Comic-Con. Yeah. Helping us do a bunch of posters, too, at Comic-Con that we gave away, too.
And those are some of the best posters I think we've had, by the way.
Yeah. They're still very popular.
Love Adam Harrison's stuff. And it was really nice for him to come out and help us. Super excited to be continuing to experiment on ways that we can extend the brand.
Well, and the trade paperback is, it's really important for it to come out. And it's, like, good timing because, like, I was looking on the internet for... because we're a little low on issue 2 here at the studio. And
we're trying to get those to you guys. It's like, what the hell?
But the earlier issues are actually getting a lot harder to find.
Yeah, they're dried up.
And so it'll be a good way for you to at least get the whole full story without having to dump a bunch of extra dough on some back issues.
And that's what's great about trades, right? Because you can bookshelf them, they archive well, you can read them multiple times, they hold up really, really well. I think, these are great. So a friend of mine, Greg, back in Boston City, has philosophy of comic books, right? He'll read this once and then it gets passed around. And that's what this is for.
Yep.
And I think this is a great tool because the more people that he passes this off to, the more people get exposure to this.
Yep.
And then, they get attached to the franchise and, they'll pick up the trade when they're ready to make the purchase. So
Yeah.
I love this, but I just love the culture of the stuff and the books. So.
Yeah, and I mean the digital stuff too that they're doing that we're going to try and move a lot of that into. It's very cool with the iPad app, and even in the browsers you can read a lot of it. And moving in that direction, and just it makes moves a lot. Like I think I've moved every year since I was 18 or something like that. So it makes like moving from place to place a lot easier when it's all in one location.
It really does. So. I see you got the Trends poster too.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't really see much of it, but it's our awesome key art.
Yeah, from the cover.
We've gotten so many requests for posters, and it was actually like starting at Uncharted 2. We probably got them before for Drake's Fortune, but I wasn't here, so I wasn't privy to the other end of those requests from our community. But starting Uncharted 2, we got a lot of requests for posters, and at that time we didn't have anything out.
Nope.
It's like there was nothing for people to put up on their wall.
Yeah, it's true.
In any capacity. Like we didn't even have promotional stuff that we'd handed out or could raffle off. So at least now we've got at least one.
Yeah.
We had the cool Penny Arcade one that came out.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah. Oh, that was really cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's great. I think you might as well shout out Shelly Gaynor. I mean, she's been instrumental on the Sony side of helping us kind of create these contacts and work on these products, giving us the freedom to kind of pursue what we felt works best with the franchise. And so we couldn't have done it without her help. And it's been really cool. And I think, posters are things that we should certainly try to emphasize a little bit more going forward. I love those things. Quietly, I don't ever bring a lot of attention to this, but I've bought a lot of posters in my day. I've got this huge collection of posters in my office going back from like the original Metal Gear Solid stuff, Final Fantasy VII, Saga Frontier. Like, I buy all of the GTA posters. I've got them all framed. To me, like, I love that new Portal 2 one they did, the very artistic movie poster representation they did. Valve store, by the way, is awesome. I love that stuff. And to me, like, a poster is a great way to frame it and put it away and, like, hang that moment in time and just put it away. And it's just like this badge of honor in your house. And it represents something sacred. And you can put these things on a shelf, and that's great. But I think those big framed images, that shows that it meant something to you. And that's why I think posters are so important. And I still, like, to this day, I mean, my wife won't let me put half of that stuff up. My garage is crazy, packed full of stuff. But if I ever get, like, man cave status, that's the first thing is wall to wall is happening. Well, what winds up happening is I'll hold so here's the process right now. I hold on to it, and then she makes me clean stuff out, and then I send it to you guys. So it's kind of like the circle of life, and then you guys can pass it out.
So really, we should be thanking your wife.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. Because
we'll send some flowers.
At least somebody's getting to have fun with it. That's at the end of the day, right? It's like, just keep it on card. I walked into my garage a while back. I was telling you the story, and I have, like, every year at San Diego Comic-Con, all the different toy manufacturers release all these exclusive toys they give away only there. You can buy them only there. Like the Maddie line's crazy, and Hasbro, and you have to do all these crazy things like stand on one leg for 5 hours, and then, say the color blue 16 times, and then recite it backwards, and then run in 5 circles, and then you can, stand in this line for 2 days, and then you get your ticket.
Maybe you get your ticket.
Maybe it's random. We didn't like the way you pronounced blue the 7th time. Forget it, you're out. But I walked in, so I've got all these toys I collected, and I've never known what to do with them, right? And like at the time, I have to have them. They're just like imperative. I can't leave without them. And then I get home and I'm like, oh God, I don't want to unwrap them. You can't unwrap them. What are you going to do? And so I have these tubs everywhere, these toys in my garage. And so I walk out one day and my daughter is out there just uncarding everything and just ripping them out of the case. And I just like freaked out. I dropped my glass. I'm like, oh, what are you doing? And it was about madness. She had, I think, uncarded 13 figures and had already pulled the head off one. And it was a sad day for toys.
At least he didn't drop a prototype figure and the head popped out. I don't know how much that cost.
Which one did you drop? Oh,
it was
that.
A Drake one, and I dropped it, and his head just popped off. Well, it was a prototype.
Back in Jack and Dexter days, this stuff was going on. I didn't have a lot of visibility in marketing in terms of how we were aligning our toy strategy, and I was still fairly enamored by the process.
Yeah.
But they had this Jack and Dexter prototype figure. It was awesome. And it was the promotional poster that we released at E3 for the Precursor Legacy. Mm-hmm. They'd done a great job with it. And at the time, when I was working with Amy Blair, and she was like, yeah, be really careful with it. This is a single prototype. We don't have another one. We don't know what we're going to do with it. And I got like 2 feet, and I dropped that thing, and I decapitated both of them. Like, there was a foot and a leg and an arm and 2 heads, and they just go flying. Oh my God. I freaked out. I was torn on a number of levels, right? Because I just ruined the prototype. I may have ruined production. And, as a toy collector, you're like, that's sacrilegious, man. You can't do that. So I've got a piece of it. I've got the torso, one of the arms, that's all that's left, but I could have kept it as my badge of shame. Well, First for Figures, those guys do some amazing Zelda, Metroid, a lot of the Nintendo properties. They're also doing the Valve stuff with Team Fortress. They're going to be doing a really cool Jak and Daxter sculpt. That's pretty freaking awesome. We were hoping to time it with the collector's edition, the collected edition that came out recently, the PS3 collection. It's really, really cool. But we didn't make the timing. But
that's the thing always with figures. It's like you think like you can pull this stuff together, but like you're looking a year plus, from talking to someone to have them come out. Just because the process really just takes so long. And
it does.
You can never. I think it's really hard. Like, I'm always amazed at anyone that can actually time stuff. Let's say around their game launch. Right. Like, that's a lot of effort to get it out by then. We tried as hard as we could to do it. I mean, just getting the figure in the collector's edition was almost
monumental
not
effort.
Making it just monumental effort. It always takes a lot longer than you would ever expect it to take.
Yeah.
Mass Media did great.
Mass Media,
They had to move mountains to put that together. So.
Yeah, they did.
So did we have code to give them? It was just what, like ones and zeros?
Justin Monast here, one of the original 7 founding Naughty Dogs. His pack ratting is legendary, and it saved our bacon on the Jak side because he had the original compiler still in storage. We had all the hard drives. We gave it to a few guys that had been on the team for a while, and they were able to resurrect all the code. And so we just handed those systems over, and they were able to use that as the base, which helped a lot. Obviously, Andy's code goal is proprietary at mad scientist level, and it took a team of engineers to unravel that and to figure out a way to get it to run on the PS3. But it was really cool, and I'm really glad we were able to do it. But that was one of the things that was prohibitive of us releasing it sooner, is just the complexity of Andy's code and just how optimized it was. It was insane how many cycles you guys were saving on some of the most just seemingly insignificant processes that turned out to be just so huge. It's impressive code. Really impressive code.
There's more printed matter.
The more print stuff. But yeah, I think we've talked about this. This has been on the blog, and we've shown it a few times. But
photos, or video, give something,
photos.
You got a couple things up there, I thought.
Yeah, I think so. But I mean, this is just a gorgeous, gorgeous guide. They do amazing.
Yeah, those guys are all in. When it comes to guides, it's piggyback is a pretty hard bar to beat. They've got a huge dedicated team. They do a very limited number of guides per year. And they take it really seriously. I mean, this is a reflection of the quality of their work, and we're really proud of being able to partner with them and put this out. This book actually shipped with a soundtrack disc that had some exclusive audio.
Yeah, it's on my desk.
Really cool. Apparently, Eric is going to keep for himself. So that's awesome.
That one.
But love those guys. And then obviously the best of the best here. Nolan's labor of love.
Yeah.
And what's really great about Drake's Journal is that it's, I think what a lot of people don't understand is just how integrated the cast becomes to the overall ecology of the group at Naughty Dog. And Nolan's in the studio or in the office just about every other day. And these guys really live the same dedication and devotion that all of the team does to these products. I mean, they're here countless hours and putting in the same amount of time. And, when you do that, you get to talk to a lot of people. And, Nolan's a very interesting guy, and he's very easy to open up to. And he was able to, take away a lot of very interesting things from different people that he met on the staff. And this is a really cool collection of stories and insight from only Nolan that could, only things that Nolan could get from being on the mocap stage and in the studio, and it's just really interesting insight because very rarely do you have somebody that's as intricately connected into the ecology of the group, being able to kind of
I mean, like how many games was he on? Like during Uncharted being made?
That guy's incredible. I mean, it's just amazing how he just focuses and does all that he does. Yeah. I think on some level he's probably the face of voice acting in gaming right now. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of other guys that are doing great work, and I don't want to exclude them, but it's a Herculean effort on Nolan's part for sure. He's doing great stuff. But I love this book, and there's the iPad version is really cool because it's got a lot of interactives, a lot of QR codes, and there's a lot of content that if you use your i-enabled device or Android device, you could access even more content, which is really sweet.
It's just another way to play, right? Merchandise. You get the merchandise, really and it's just like we make games, and it's all about playing and imagination and being in that world. You get merchandise, do the same thing.
Same thing. It's a nice little tie there. I think we have this though. We have talked.
Yeah, I mean, this was awesome. When I my first day here, I saw that on my desk, and I was like, hell yeah! I just love the logo, and I think Naughty Dog has been. Oh, we got Fuzz. That's not mine. That's Rodney.
That's awesome.
Wow, it's so good.
You didn't plan that. I swear.
That was totally. We got a lot of cool, in addition to the T-shirts that we have made for the company. There's a license plate holder. We have this mug and some other mugs, and just
you get your badge. You get the little badge.
The badge thing.
That's pretty cool.
That's awesome. So it's just really great to see all this branded merch that you're just really proud to wear when you have it. And I think we've talked about wanting to get it and make some of it more public too. So.
Yeah. There's a lot of Naughty Dog fans that want to represent Naughty Dog, and even people from the studio. Like, we can't keep the promotional T-shirts that we make for the employees in stock because they want more for friends or forever. So
that's awesome.
We really have to work on getting it out there, and I think we're looking into doing that.
Yep.
Soon.
I have a feeling that might be closer than we think. A lot of the early shirts actually had Jason Rubin's artwork.
Oh, really?
He used to do the artwork for a lot of that stuff.
Oh, that's right. The dog and the surfboard. I heard this story where that was his. So the name Naughty Dog came because he was doodling all the time, and he drew this dog with a surfboard, and
that became the Naughty Dog.
That became the Naughty, because it was a dog that used to surf and pick up women at the beach. Yeah, that's all it did. And so that's.
I think that may have showed up in the opening title sequence.
Yeah,
I think it did actually.
One game at least.
Yeah, I
don't
think
Google
you're right
that.
about
That might be a little NSFW. Depending on how conservative your workplace is.
Yeah, that might be bad. That might be bad. I do remember that though. I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah, and then moving forward too, we're gonna have stuff for Last of Us coming out, which
super
still
excited
got a lot of stuff
that.
in the works, but
I
think people are really excited about that. Sort of the world we're trying to create, and I think there's a lot of potential too. There's a lot of backstory.
Yeah.
That we can work off of. So I think there's a lot of really cool things we can do with it. Hopefully we can get everybody in line and out sometime around launch or before or after. So despite our best efforts, in terms of timing, it's always never seemed to get it exactly when we want it. But it'll be out there. There'll be something. What are you playing lately?
What am I playing lately?
Have you played lately?
Yeah, I mean, I am huge on iOS games right now. It's actually kind of sweeping The Office in a way, Hero Academy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just stand up over our cubes and be like, that move was dumb. That move just should have, you should have used your Wraith. You should have moved in there with that guy.
You tried Spell Tower?
Yeah, I love Spell Tower. That's another one I'm really
making you work a little bit harder for it, which is really cool.
It's so well done, too.
Yeah, it's really nice.
It's just a really good game.
Just downloaded Pandemic 2.5.
Okay.
Which is ironic that it's, basically you have to unleash a plague onto the world and see how that works out. And you tried Battle Nations at all? There was a Kotaku article on it recently. It was pretty fun. It's sad that it's like Advance Wars meets Farmville kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you still have the farming and there's a lot of hard sales stuff where they continually, make you watch videos and things. But the game itself is really, really fun.
Have you played Marvel Avengers Alliance on Facebook? I really hate to admit I'm playing a Facebook game, but I am like addicted to it. I don't know if it's the IP or the fact that it's just essentially Final Fantasy with Marvel characters.
I've heard about it. I have not played it.
Yeah,
is it really that good?
It's Final Fantasy. Like if you love the old school Final Fantasy games, it's like Final Fantasy 1 with Marvel characters. So you get really addicted to it pretty quick.
I'll have to check that out. Diablo, of course.
Wait, are you saying you actually played?
Yeah.
so let's just put this in perspective. The game, I was on an 11:30 flight. The game like dropped at 10. I had to get to the airport, so I bought it. Went to the airport, picked up that Max Payne, of course. Got to the airport, looked at the box, got on the plane, landed. Right, because I'm here. So I installed last night, the night before. Played to level 2 before the power went out in the hotel.
This sounds like a game itself.
That was
like trying to get the game to work.
So I have yet to play beyond level 2, and it was between. So I did get Era 37 a couple times, which was amazing. And then the power went out, and I finally did get in, so that was cool. So I've yet to have the actual experience, but I'm looking forward to it. At least it's installed.
Well, I downloaded and finished the Walking Dead episode on A New Day.
Really?
I finished it last week, yeah.
Yeah, that was really good.
It's pretty good. I liked it because, like, one of the things I liked about it was the art style.
Yeah.
Because, like, you see so many, like, community people and you like, fans, like, they see concept art and they want, like, games with like, concept art, and there's some of them. And, like, this one, like, sort of really nailed, like, this more comic feel, like, having that, like, more of an artistic look to all of the models and everything, but it still was rendered in a 3D space. I really liked how that sort of fit into that.
I've heard good things, really good things. Telltale's awesome anyway. Yeah. The game is good. I like the game. I think it's a really cool interpretation.
Convicted murder.
Well, the setup, but like the way they were making you make tough choices, and like not giving you a lot of time to make those choices. Yeah. So like you're not getting a lot of time to think about the implications of what your choices are. You're like, well, which one do I do? You know?
Exactly.
And the fact that everyone is remembering it, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out in future episodes in terms of like.
I think it's really, really cool.
How they act towards you,
That's really cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I've got this whole stack of stuff that I haven't played.
Yeah.
It's just it grows, and then you decide, well, I'm giving up on this one. I'm just not going to have that much time, and then 2 months later you go back in the box and go, oh, I'm pulling this back out.
Well,
so.
Your back catalog was featured a little while ago, which I was like,
I pared that down to things that I felt I would actually play in the near future.
Okay.
Because it's like I'm kind of a pack rat, but it's like there will be a time where I'll end up like being able to go through a bunch of games. But it's like I do I'll get games from friends or like there'll be games that I feel like I must have pick up. But then there's also like the games where like, well, like this is something that, like I want to play as like, I don't know, part of my education as a gamer, right?
Yeah. Brian's been playing Monster Hunter. He put 150 hours
that game's
in just 2 pieces of armor. I'm like, I can't, I just don't have time. I wish I did because I love that stuff. But
it's a phenomenon. I mean, it's
I can't do it.
I was talking about it earlier, and I had worked on that game in a previous job, and they actually use the monsters as like the national Tourist Bureau of Japan uses the monsters from Monster Hunter to advertise, like, go to this park, go to this forest, and it's a Monster Hunter monster. It's wild. It's crazy. It's like,
although, just like Vic said, right, I'd expect to see some freaking monsters when I got there. Like, this morning when I get there.
Yeah.
Well, when you're coming back, we have to get you back on here. We need to think of a topic to bring you back on.
I would.
Your wealth of information about
a lot of things.
Well, it was a pleasure.
We have to figure out another topic that you can just.
You want to talk about producing, maybe?
We'll bring it down. I want to do a show where we can just send Sam either on one of your soapbox rants or talk about something, and that way I can take off for a while, come back.
Just go work on it.
I'll be back in 5.
We'll just okay. So AMC,
gonna have to replace that window.
Series, Walking Dead, go.
I can tell you, it's like coffee talk, right? We started working with Naughty Dog though, the Crash series, and Jack and Daxter and Uncharted. It's been a labor of love for me, and it's great because I get to help with a lot of things. And Naughty Dog is an incredible company, and I can't say enough good things about everyone involved. You guys are amazing. And it's a pleasure and an honor to be associated with you guys. And don't cut this out because I'm going to be pissed at you because it's true, all right? It's a privilege. It's absolute privilege, and I don't take it lightly. I mean, you guys are great, And what you guys do, what you bring to consumers, the level of detail, the quality, and how hard you work to make these games happen. It's amazing.
I'm tearing up.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just saying, man. Come on, I love these guys. So, my wife stopped me. I was at Hart and Huntington a couple of years ago in Vegas, and I almost got a Drake tattoo, and I was going to do this whole thing, Naughty Dog homage, and I was a little drunk, obviously. Feeling, a little
like you are now,
a little sensitive, a little emotional. But she was like, "If you do that," I'm like, "Okay, I'm not going to go into it any further." I did not.
But next time you come back here, you're going to bring your less custom-made Chuck Taylors.
Yes.
Okay.
I will indeed.
Awesome.
And we'll make you guys a pair or two as well.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be great.
The Converse store is being very generous, so that's cool. We'll do that, and anything else? I could bring toys or goodies or cookies or s'mores. We can do s'mores. Why is the fire alarm going on? I don't know. The service is shut down. Holy crap!
Actually, requirement for the feature is any guest has to bring baked goods.
I think that's
awesome. I like that.
I like that. There we go.
If you want to be on the show, bring
bacon or baked goods.
Yeah, Magnolia Bakery. Make it happen.